Fat. No, not with the PH, but fat. Adjective. Notable for having an unusual amount of fat, as Merriam-Webster puts it. Well, whatever that means. Whatever unusual constitutes. That word describes me and whatever number of Americans in the United States. But you already know this. Whether it's at a theater, on your phone, or specifically on TV, you have seen a fat person. A background character, a supporting role, sometimes even a lead. We've seen every iteration, but have said iterations truly represented the actual, non-fictional fat people that a great deal of the world consists of? Hi, my name is Mateo, and today I will be talking about the need for positive representations of fat people on television. You're probably raising your eyebrow at me thinking, "Hey Mateo, what do you mean by positive representations?" Or you're scoffing at me, about to shut off whatever device you're watching this on, because why would you care about fat people? I can't make you care about fat people, and I'm definitely not here to radicalize you into body positivity or fat liberation. But we are a community of people that exist, whether you like it or not. And if we want better representation, why shouldn't we vie for that? By my criteria, positive representation of fat people in television doesn't center weight or body storylines to move the narrative along. And when it does, it is in a realistic and non-scrutinizing manner. Well, negative representation does the exact opposite. There are a few common television tropes that negative depictions of fat people can fall into, starting with, in my opinion, the most prevalent, the fat comic relief. An overweight character whose primary purpose is to provide humor through their size, eating habits, or physical comedy. Their weight becomes the joke itself, often through self-deprecating humor or being the target of fat jokes. Owen from Total Drama Island fulfills the fat comic relief trope almost to a T. His large size is constantly the source of physical comedy, whether he's breaking things by sitting on them, getting stuck in tight spaces, or engaging in gross-out humor related to eating and bodily functions. His personality is defined by his love of food, flatulence jokes, and childlike enthusiasm. While Owen is portrayed as lovable and friendly, his weight is inseparable from the humor he provides, making him a textbook example of this trope where the character's body becomes the primary comedic device.
I am so winning.
So you're not gonna eat that?
Then, we have the fat best friend, a supporting character, often the protagonist's sidekick, whose larger body is contrasted with the conventionally attractive lead. They typically exist to support the main character's story, rather than having their own romantic plots or character development. Their personality is often bubbly and confident, but they rarely get the spotlight. Ivy from Good Luck Charlie represents a prime example of the fat best friend trope, as the main character Teddy's loyal sidekick throughout the series. While Ivy has her own personality and storylines, she primarily exists to support Teddy's adventures and romantic plots. Her larger size is occasionally referenced, but mostly just visually contrasts with Teddy's conventional attractiveness. Ivy rarely gets her own romantic storylines with the same depth, and her role centers on being the funny, supportive friend rather than having equal narrative weight as a protagonist.
I'm so sorry I tricked you. I just really wanted you to come along. Everything was more fun when you're around, always has been, ever since kindergarten.
Lastly, the formerly fat trope features a character whose past obesity is a significant part of their backstory and current identity. They've lost weight before or during the show, but this transformation remains a defining trait for them. The trope often involves lingering insecurity, references to past bullying, or obsessive behaviors around food and fitness. Their former weight becomes a source of both humor and pathos, with the characters sometimes still seeing themselves as the fat kid despite their transformation. In Insatiable, after being bullied as Fatty Patty, Patty loses weight and seeks revenge on those who mistreated her. The show explores her lingering trauma, body dysmorphia, and obsessive behaviors around food and appearance. Her transformation is directly tied to her gaining confidence and romantic attention, though the narrative also examines the darker psychological consequences of tying self-worth to weight. The show was controversial for how it handled these themes, with critics arguing it reinforced problematic messages about body transformation.
I was ugly on the inside, so it didn't matter what my outsides looked like. Not anymore. So who cared what I ate? I just didn't want to feel this pain. I didn't want to feel anything at all. So I turned to the only friend I had left. Happy birthday, Fatty Patty.
Now think about all the fat characters in the shows you watch and see if they fall victim to these stereotypes. Chances are that they do. So what the hell we gonna do now? What we do is we look back at some of the complex, multidimensional, fat characters that have graced our television sets, and we take notes, people. And by we, I mean filmmakers who have the obligation to socialize watchers through providing accurate and diverse depictions of fat people. Kat from Euphoria offers a nuanced portrayal by giving her a complex, evolving arc that goes beyond her body size. While her weight is acknowledged, including her insecurities and how others perceive her, it's not her only defining characteristic. Kat's storyline explores her sexual awakening, confidence building through cam work, her complicated relationship with Ethan, and her struggles with self-worth that stem from deeper issues than just body image. The show allows her to be sexual, desirable, and multidimensional without making her weight the punchline or the sole source of her problems. She's messy, makes mistakes, and has genuine character development that would be compelling regardless of her size. Euphoria treats Kat as a fully realized person navigating adolescence, trauma, and identity. Her body is part of her experience but doesn't reduce her to a stereotype.
There's nothing more powerful than a fat girl who doesn't give a fuck.
Max from Happy Endings subverts the fat comic relief trope by being hilarious without his humor revolving around his weight. Max is sharp-witted, sarcastic, and lazily charming. His comedy comes from his personality, one-liners, and chaotic life choices, not fat jokes. The show gives him substantial romantic storylines that are treated with the same seriousness and sweetness as the other characters, and he's never portrayed as undesirable because of his size. Max is messy, flawed, and funny in ways that have nothing to do with his body. He's a core member of the ensemble rather than a sidekick, proving that fat characters can carry comedic weight, no pun intended, through actual character writing rather than lazy physical humor.
Why don't you cover up your chest hair, V-neck? I don't even want your sandwich anymore.
This chest hair is majestic. People get lost
That chest hair is feral.
Now our work here isn't done. Yes, I said our, both creators and consumers. As creators, we cannot neglect the people we feature in and support our art. We have to keep striving for accurate representation of marginalized and othered groups by giving said people a seat at the table in our writers' rooms, on sets, and in editing suites. And for the people responsible for funding and watching these pieces of work, call us out. Every viewer has a right to want to see themselves on the same screens they look at every day. And those same screens allow for you to tell your favorite creators that you want, no, that you deserve better. To my fat brothers, sisters, and non-binaries, you are seen, and you are more than just your body and weight. They'll always try to make us small, but resisting through demanding representation will not let them.